Ciao, y'all.
Ciao, baby.
Ciao, Doc.
That's Rachel from Dubrovnik, Croatia. That was God Bless America, and I declare world peace in Croatia. Let's go from Dubrovnik, Croatia to Wall Street with an opening stock market report. We have Ken Roberts. Hey, Ken, what's up?
Well, the market's kind of mixed. We opened in positive territory, but right now the Dow has recently turned negative. It's down 21.2. The Nasdaq's up. It's up 9.75. And the S&P 500 is still in positive territory, up 0.67. No major economic reports today. Foreign markets were kind of mixed, relatively quiet. And a lot of earnings still coming out. Yeah, pretty quiet day here.
Well, sounds like we're going to kind of idle all day long, huh?
Kind of looks that way. There's not a lot of, like I said, there's no major economic news to drive the market, so the earnings reports are probably the main story today.
And who's reporting today? Anyone of significance?
There's a lot of them, Southwest Gas, Solar City, but a lot of smaller companies, not a lot of the major companies.
Yeah, okay. Well, Southwest Gas is probably pretty big, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a regional gas supplier. I would imagine that would have some effect somewhere, but with the warmer temperatures, I would guess their earnings are going to be down a little bit.
It might be, and the price of natural gas has been down. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of follows with oil and everything else. So, how is oil doing, by the way?
Oil has pulled back a little bit today. I looked at Chevron this morning. It was down. Yeah, oil's slightly down this morning.
Good. I got to fill up this afternoon.
It doesn't change at the pumps.
It doesn't?
The gas station.
Darn it. Oh, well. Well, Ken, you've written a book, a bestseller, The Tactical Option Investor. How can we find that book, Ken?
You can find that on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com or get it right over there at Buy Nevada First.
Right over there.
You've written a column for the Wall Street Journal. How can we read that?
That's on MarketWatch. If you Google Ken Roberts MarketWatch, that'll take you over to my columns on retirement planning.
All right, Ken, and last but not least, how do we contact you to have you make sure our money's working as hard for us as we did to earn it?
You can give me a call at 775-825-4555.
All right, Ken, thanks for the opening report. Hope to get a final report in the next hour.
Thank you.
All right, Ken Roberts from Fat Tail Trading. Man, we say this all the time, Jim, but it really isn't too early to start. And I don't care who you invest with or what you do. Start putting money aside for retirement.
Yeah.
And don't go crazy. I mean,
don't borrow against your 401.
Don't do those things. I mean, let it build up, let it build up, let it build up. So when it's time for you to retire, you can walk out the door with a smile on your face, knowing that you're in tall cotton.
Yeah.
No doubt. Like you did.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I drove the last 3 cars I've had for 10 years.
Yeah.
Each one of them.
Well, we did a thing. Linda and I totally toast her off the subject, but we had a 10-year plan and a 5-year plan.
Oh, cool.
And we did 10 years before retirement and then 5 years before retirement. And one of the things that we did was made sure everything was paid off except for the house. Because the house is so cheap. I mean, we've been in it 21 years.
Nothing.
Payments are nothing. So why should I take any money out of my retirement trust that I'm making 5 or 6% on now and pay off a loan that's at 2.1 or 2.8 or whatever the heck it's at?
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So I just make the $400 house payment a month and move on.
Until the taxes go up again.
Yeah, well, but, they went way down. Mm-hmm. When the bust hit, they went way down. Now they're back up again. They're back up, not quite to the highs, but they're getting near there again.
Yep.
But that's what it is. Well, let's go from Wall Street to, we heard about earthquakes in Peru and big fires in Canada, and let's go to another third world nation where they've had the longest continuous burning tire fire anywhere in the world, forever it seems like, where pavement ends and dirt begins. The town slogan is, That's right. We're talking about where? Silver Springs, Nevada. On line 1, it's Aaron. Hey, Aaron, what's up?
I think we might have said a little bit of history out here this week. This is the first day the sun came up in about 5 days. We've had water for the last 5 days out here. The lake has filled up a little bit. Drought conditions, of course, alleviated somewhat, a little bit of relief, but we still have to conserve the water. get going. Bartolo Colon.
Mm-hmm.
History. He's going to make the Hall of Fame.
No.
Doesn't matter what his career, because I always thought he kind of deserved it anyways. First home run in his career. He is the oldest player to hit their first home run. And of all teams to do it with, the Mets, huh? People have been asking me, you haven't said anything about the marijuana issues lately. And that's kind of because there really hasn't been anything exciting or newsworthy to even talk about going on there. It's kind of been ho-hum. However, that all changed on Friday. The Department of Justice threw the towel in on Harborside Healthcare Center. Of course, that is a dispensary in Oakland, California. They've been going back and forth over this for about 6-7 years now. And Robert McCowan, he is a law professor at Stanford. This was his comment. The framework is moving from the war on drugs to the tricky issue of regulation, taxation, and who is going to be in control of this major new industry. The Oakland mayor, Libby Schaaf, she may have come up with a new motto for Oakland on this one here. We celebrate the release from federal prosecution. We believe in compassion. We believe in health. Pretty bold statement there. But, and I think it's important to remember, as we start seeing our country spend hundreds of millions of dollars right now to undo some really unjust laws about marijuana, it was pecuniary greed, patents for wood pulp paper and nylon rope that created the situation that William Randolph Hearst and DuPont took advantage of, brainwashed us, gave us reefer madness, and we all know where we are today on that issue. But that, to me, I think that is setting the tone. The Department of Justice said, okay, hey, look, we're reevaluating our position on all of this by throwing the towel in on that right there. So perhaps our government as a whole is going to come up with a different view in how we handle marijuana, whether for recreational use, medicinal use, however, it really doesn't need to be a Schedule I narcotic. I think that was the worst.
Well, now it's coming up for a vote for Nevada, whether it should be legalized.
Yeah.
This next election.
Yeah. You know what? And I haven't really been able. I'm going to try to run down some information on it and see what kind of feedback people on the street are getting that are doing the petition work on that. But I did talk to somebody over in Florida over the weekend.
That's another
Three
state.
counties.
Yeah.
3 counties have decriminalized it, and they're seeing a lot of movement towards state doing the same thing on the state level now. And Florida, that's kind of a tricky state. It's like a finger in a glass of water. Think it's right out there in the water, and we all know all the problems that have been highlighted over the years. What was it? Scarface, showed us. Yes, that's the problems Florida deals with on a state and federal level. The Coast Guard and everybody. That is just right out there, and there's just so much open land that people can run in. I talked to people back in the 70s and 80s that lived in Florida. They purposely moved to the Keys just to see what would wash up.
No, really?
The bales of marijuana and massive tubs that had like 100 kilos of cocaine in it would wash up on the shores, because when the Coast Guard went to go get the boats, they would just dump everything.
Oh yeah, they would crash
I
planes.
don't think I'd want to be caught with 100 pounds
No.
of cocaine.
Well, they would dump planes. They would dump everything.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
It's just not worth getting caught. That's
Well,
the
I
way
know,
they
but
look at it.
is it worth getting caught picking it up off the beach?
Well, finders keepers.
People were. Exactly, Dennis. People were making a very lucrative living doing that, picking it up off the beach. But, over the weekend, Foreclosurepedia released some information in a couple articles, and this information proves what I have been saying and what I have always thought, and many others in the industry have suspected for a long, long time. As far back as 2009, Eric Miller and the board of directors of the National Association of Mortgage Field Services has known and been advised that second-tier companies subbing the work out have not, there's been non-payment issues. There's been issues of indiscretions, whatever you want to call them, however you want to dress that duck there. I'm just going to say it like this. stealing, because that's what the people do. When you go have somebody do work for you and you say, oh, well, we're not going to pay you because you missed a photograph, knowing the work has been done, and trying to use, well, the client said this, and being in between you and the actual client, they're stealing your money. It's just that simple. There's no nice way to put that. But as far back as 2009, internal emails document that these companies knew that they have been violating their bylaws, that and I posted an article over the weekend with the canons, the standards and canons for this organization, and I highlighted 8 of them because that's what their members are violating today.
How many
Every
people are
day
we
they
talking
violate
about?
8 of, and well,
I mean, really, how does this?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of how many. 101,000 contractors are listed with companies with AMS. I mean, with NAMFS right now. That was one of the numbers that came out over the weekend in the investigation. 100,000 contractors across this country. In Nevada, I'm not quite sure how many property preservation contractors there are. I know of about 40 from some of the work I've been doing.
Each one of those has how many employees?
It depends. A lot of them are mom and pop shops. A lot. I mean, basically, when I got started in the industry, Alladay LLC got started in the industry. I did all the work. Lacey did all the administrative stuff. So it was a mom and pop type environment. And then when Fannie Mae came and discussed things with me overnight, I went from myself and Lacey to 25 employees.
Wow.
Boom. And I mean boom, just like that. And we hit the ground running, and it was a difficult transition because I just was not used to that much pay. I mean, there was a lot of administrative things that started falling in that you just don't deal with as a mom and pop operation.
Wow, okay.
All right, Aaron. Well, we need to get moving. We got people on hold right now.
Okay, hey, real quick, let me wrap this up. Food Summit Revolution, knowledge, understand what's going on out there, folks. The earth, we have to take care of it. The industrial farming is ruining our earth. We have consumer power, nutrition, understand it, and I'll touch more on that tomorrow. And thanks to John and Ocean Roberts for that great summit over the past week, and my numbers have just skyrocketed. Sunshine out here already, folks. It's 60 degrees, going to be a gorgeous day. Hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. Let's have a great time. Let's all be safe out there.
All right.
Okay, see ya.
That's Aaron out in Silver Springs, Nevada. Let's go from Silver Springs to